Good evening once again. Hello, welcome, and hi. As always, I'm your host, Doc Tima, and I've been thinking about what to chat on this week, and it's been kind of driving me nuts trying to figure something out. I thought that, well, maybe I should tell you a bit about the research that I do and why I do it. And maybe it will give you some insight into why I'm doing this thing in the first place. So this is going to be kind of the first start of sort of a few conversations about various ways that we can know our media spaces. And the way I want to talk about tonight is kind of my corner of the universe, which is referred to often as cultural studies or media studies. So often my students ask me about what I write on and why. I mean, I've published papers on the movie 300. I've written about the movie Alien. I've talked about fan cultures and how we can kind of understand and organize them. I've talked about, shockingly, media literacy. I've engaged how we teach it and how we think about it. I've written about disparate or marginalized populations and how they're covered in the media. I've written about different pop culture subgroups, anywhere from comic fans to Sturgis Rally a little bit, to beer drinkers. I brew beer, so that's something I was interested in. But I'm trying to best understand the media world around us. The way I make sense of it is not through collecting data, which a lot of people do, to be sure. And this serves a purpose. Sometimes I might interview people. That can be really revealing, but again, not questions I typically am asking. However, I try to understand what we create and what we consume, the media that we are surrounded by all the time, like this video right now. At this moment, you are consuming something I have created. The question is, why? Why this and not that? What does this offer that something else does not offer? What does that choice say about you, and about me, and about we? This is what is often referred to as cultural studies. It is just one of many spaces that we work to understand us from, for me in particular, our cultural things, our movies, our TV shows, our music. I'm a concert nut. Our video games, not my area. Some people are really into it, not me. Our social media, everything. I just finished working on a book on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What does that tell you? The questions I ask and the positions that I take always focus on four areas. One of the four more combination: class, so social economic status; race, however you define that; gender, same thing, however you define it; and power. Amongst those four, for me, it always seems to come back to the question of power. Who has it? Who does not? Who or what has power over who, both individually and as audiences or groups? It's amazing what you learn about society when you can stop and really think on who is creating what for who and why. In particular, what do our everyday lives tell us about what we take in and what we put into the world? You know, Henry Jenkins, he was a professor at USC, pointed out that our media has all converged. When everything we have is in one place, like our phones are little black mirrors here, and we have access to more information than we ever have in the past. Why do we always go back to cat videos? What do we learn from that choice in that moment? So how does this connect to media literacy? It's a really good question, since that's what we're talking about in this little whatever thing I'm doing. So here's an answer. If we take the time to stop and really think and really reflect on our own media usage and how, honestly, our media uses us, the media companies profit on us. Media creators profit on us. Hell, just by you watching this, it boosts the video in the TikTok or whatever algorithm. And if you consider social capital worth something, I am profiting on you right now. So that gets us back to the question of power. Who has it, over whom, and when? And how many different directions does it go? There's a theorist I love to go with named Michel Foucault, and he talks about power as not a bad thing or a good thing. It exists. The question becomes, how is that power used? Who has the ability to use that power? And what are the implications of that? So all of this gets us to this so what. For our purposes, consider what you may have watched, listened to, scrolled, posted, or played today. Just today. Last maybe even hour. What was the subject matter? How did it make you feel? Was it a binge moment or a moment of doom scrolling? How many different things did you have going on at once? Do you remember? Do you avoid news reads that are too long because you lose your ability to pay attention? Do you agree to terms of service without actually reading them? Do you repost, retweet, or something like that before you actually read beyond the tagline that is there to overtly only to get your attention? If being truly media literate means we're actively engaging in our media worlds, and I mean actively engaging in them, then the only way to survive this thing is to ask the big questions and be willing to face the answers. In any case, that's kind of where I was thinking about coming from tonight. Um, yeah, cultural studies, media studies. It's my gig. It's what I do. These are the questions I like to ask. So there's questions you want to ask, you want me to dig into a little bit. Let me know. Post it. Send me a DM, whatever the case may be. Is that what they call it on TikTok? I don't know. DM, sure. I'm happy to dig into stuff. I'm trying to get into it. So people have sent me already. It's kind of some cool stuff. People again are looking for examples on a couple of things. I'm trying to develop some ideas there. But yeah, once again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking along with this thing. It's the 8th one I've done, which is crazy to think about. And that's all I got. Take it easy. Be well. Take care of each other. And we'll catch you next time.